Hello and welcome to the preliminary patch notes for patch 5.1. Obviously, this is not going to have Epic Alexander Ultimate because that's 5.11, as you see at the top there. And Blue Mage and Onsal Hakir will be in 5.15. There will probably be some spoilers. I expect this will give us, most likely, the final numbers for potencies for Ninja, the changes for Samurai, and the little bits of changes that we're going to be getting for Astrologian, as well as some Summoner changes. Very excited for that. So let's see what we got. And yeah, like I said, there will definitely be spoilers in here. I have not looked at this yet, but I know 100% they're going to show some spoiler pictures for Shadowbringers. So if you haven't completed the main story of Shadowbringers, you should probably do that before you see this video. Okay. Yeah, just like I said, spoilers just right there. Yeah, the new quest. Shake and Resolve. And then question marks. We don't even get names for quests. Okay, it's quite a few quests, though, honestly. The word about Kamra can be found under the Chronicles of New Era tab. Chronicles of New Era quest. This is Yorha, Dark Apocalypse. Going to be going on in Tamra, apparently. Or maybe in Kamra, because word about Kamra can now be found under the Chronicles of New Era. We have... It'll be in Calusia. Yeah, so you also need to have completed the word about Kamra quest, which means you should probably do the quest in Tamra and Kamra before this patch. Just a heads up. Then we have side story quests, the custom deliveries with Kashir, Pixie Beast Tribes, which will have quest sync, thankfully. Wonderful, amazing. Turns and Manic Pixie Dream. Of course, you can't do these if you haven't already got the changes to Ilmeg. Most likely. Beast Tribe Dailies. Beastman Currency. Fancies. Okay. And then vendors will be unlocked upon completing Manic Pixie Dream. Okay. Cool. I am super game for that. New Game Plus, which we already knew about. They go back to all those old fun quests again. They're split up into 4 chunks, basically, per area, except for Shadowbringers, which is only 2 chunks right now. You can leave it whenever you want. This is during the New Game Plus section, right? Because I saw... This is the only thing I knew about, where people were like, oh, yeah, you can do this for everything. I think this is only for New Game Plus. It doesn't say, as far as I can tell, because I have seen this screenshot right here. But... I'm assuming this is still part of New Game Plus, because that is what everybody was talking about during the live letter. By everybody, I mean Yosh P. But it might not be. It might be for everything. It'd be cool if it was for everything, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be for... Yagetsu combo actions been added to the actions available when playing as Hien. Yeah, see, all of this is still about New Game Plus, right? The parameter of enemies that appear in Arcanist and Summoner quests have been adjusted. Okay, cool. Items required for Crafter and Fisher Leaves has been adjusted. That sounds good. Fates maximum. Yes! 1,000! Thank you. You can now, when you first go into a Shadowbringer zone, start doing Fates and get everything in that Fate without capping out on Gemstone. Without having to go burn some off so that you can get to the highest tiers so that you can unlock them. Thank you. And then new items. Good thing I've been stacking up some bicolor Gemstones. And Shared Fate rank required for certain items has been reduced. Cool. Rewards in the Dungeon Lihagia has been adjusted. Okay. Granted free companies, new stuff. Areas, yeah, for subaquatic voyages. 79 to 80 provisioning. Supply missions have been increased. Okay. Fisher provisioning. Okay. Wards 19 through 21 have been added to all residential districts. That's going to be a bloodbath. We knew it was coming, but that's going to be a bloodbath. Private Estates has been made available on Spriggan and Titania for wards 1 through 18. Furnishings. Oh, that's really cool. I like that a lot. New outdoor furnishings. The stalls we saw remain seated when interacting with furnishings. Thank you. Pure and Ellison mannequins are now available. All right. Because I have Mikote mannequins for... all of my mannequins because there were no here. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited for that. And you can just change your current mannequin. You don't have to go buy a new one. Cool. Rolls. Fish. Paintings. New seed for flower pots. Campanula seeds. purchased from any of the material suppliers. Cool. I want some of those. Estate tags. That makes sense because that looks like a returning or a new player. Cool. That's really nice. The new gate, slices right. Yep. Awesome. Following adjustments have been made to gates. Every hour, on the hour, cliffhanger, Air Force One, leap of faith. Hourly, 20 minutes past the hour, any way the wind blows, slices right, leap of faith. Hourly, 40 minutes, any way the wind blows, slices right, Air Force One. Cool. That should fix it. And then skin change we believe in has been. They had already mentioned that. Players can now switch to a high resolution mahjong layout. Cool. Triple triad, new cards, new NPC opponents. Scenario mode has been added to the trust system. Using scenario mode, you may challenge new main scenario dungeons with avatar NPCs that appear in the latest quests of main scenario. They will not gain XP in that mode. So you can, if you haven't been leveling trust, you can still use trust in the new dungeon by using scenario mode. That's a good addition. Metronome has been added for performance. Ensemble ready check function is now... Oh, that's amazing. Okay, yeah. Initiating the ready check will send a notification to all party members. It even tells you what your BPM should be. Ensemble mode has been added. Yeah, that's really cool. I like that a lot. Assistant, performers, settings, help, display. Cool. Awesome. Trumpet, trombone, tuba, horn, saxophone. All right. Wondrous Tales. Price available in exchange for gold comms and silver comms and bronze comms have been adjusted. And Eden's Gate has been added to Wondrous. Cool. The Garo collaboration has ended. As such, players will no longer be able to attain Garo-inspired PvP gear, mounts, titles, and achievements. And again, all these changes go live on the 29th. But you will still be able to get the Gold Saucer version, right? The Gold Saucer attendant, the Gold Saucer awards associated. Oh, no, it includes the ones from the Gold Saucer. Okay. And then anything you previously earned, you can get back from the Calamity Savage. All right, Sentinel. Duration's been increased. Cool. 15 seconds on Paladin. These are the battle system changes. This is the big one that people really care about. So, I mean, all the other stuff was cool, too. I liked all that stuff. But let's get into this battle system change. Sentinel increase, Vengeance increase, Home Gang increase, and Raw Intuition increase. So both of those are just better now. Dark Knight as well, and Gunbreaker. So all tanks have their cooldowns increased. At least one cooldown per tank. That's really solid. I think that'll help a lot. Especially at lower levels. Sentinel being able to last that additional 5 seconds could make a life or death difference in a big pull, honestly. If the healer's struggling. Of course, if the healer's struggling, just don't pull as big, but you know what I mean. Pugilist Monk. Area effect has been changed from a cone to all nearby enemies for Rockbreaker. Awesome. Mantra has been reduced. We knew that was coming after they mentioned it in the live letter. Anatman now triggers the cooldown of weapon skills upon execution and cannot be triggered during weapon skill cooldown. Okay. So it triggers the cooldown so that you get your abilities back, but it cannot be used during... It cannot be executed during weapon skill cooldown. Okay. Interesting. Dragoon, Blood of the Dragon recast time has been reduced from 30 to 25 seconds. Gear Skogul has been increased from 270 to 300. Mirage Dive potency has been increased from 250 to 300. Star Diver from 550 to 600. Some good little potency buffs here for Dragoon. This is clearly an error. This is not supposed to be this long, right? Right? That's a mistake. That's okay. Yeah. Dragoon and Monk both looking really good with that now. Honestly, I mean, Rockbreaker change is actually really big for Monk's AoE rotation. Now that it just hits everybody because your... What's it called? Six-sided star? No, that's not it. The whirling kick. I can't remember the name of it right now. The new one that we got in Shadowbringers for Monk. It hits everything around you. It's not a cone. So it's cool that Rockbreaker now does the same thing. You can now combo those two much more effectively. And then just straight potency buffs on Dragoon. That's great. That's amazing. And Blood of the Dragon recast down to 25. That's really good. Really, really solid. You can have Blood of the Dragon up so much more often with just that 5-second change. Alright, this is a lot of Monk stuff, or ninja stuff. So let's take a look here. Recast time has been increased from 110 to 120 seconds on Mug. Trick attack potency has been increased from 340 to 350. Blown up effect no longer requires execution from the enemy's rear, which makes it a lot more like the old sneak attack. Or old trick attack was in front, sneak attack was behind, and then they changed it. Effect potency has been reduced from 10% to 5%. We knew that was happening. Effect duration has been increased from 10 seconds to 15 seconds, which we knew was happening. Aeolian Edge, which honestly, before we move on, Trick Attack is going to be a lot better now. It's not going to be as potent, it's not going to be as powerful, but the changes will help a lot when it comes to lining up all the windows. Dancer's Technical Step now fits better into it. Machinist Hotshot combo now fits into it with Wildfire and the Queen. You have monks now have a chance to be able to get all their stacks back and be able to keep dealing out some good damage during that window. Black mages are now able to get 2 Fire 4 windows in there if they play it right. So it's a pretty big change, honestly, with 15 seconds. It's a big shift. Aeolian Edge combo potency from 400 to 420. Rear combo potency from 460 to 480. Still going to be worth doing your positionals on Ninja. Shadowfang potency's been doubled. No longer a combo action with Spinning Edge. Combo bonus damage over time has been changed to an additional effect. Damage over time potency has been increased from 70 to 90. Effect duration has been increased from 24 to 30 seconds. No longer shares a recast time with other actions. Thank you. Recast time has been reduced from 2.5, increased, from 2.5 to 70 seconds. So now it's an ability, technically. Execution of Shadowfang will no longer interrupt combos. Yes! Tenchi Jin, duration has been increased from 5 to 6 seconds. Now has a maximum of 2 charges. Now triggers the cooldown of weapon skills, Mudra, and Ninjutsu upon execution. Execution of weapon skills now trigger the cooldown of this action. Recast time has been increased from 0.5 to 20 seconds. Mudra status effect will no longer be renewed by consecutive inputs of a Mudra action. So, we knew the Mudras were going off the global cooldown, or going onto the global cooldown, I should say, and that they would be pretty different. I'm really excited to play around with them with this change. But all of the ninjutsu are supposed to have some pretty big changes when it comes to potency from this, so we'll see how that goes. With ninjutsu, recast timer is no longer triggered when ninjutsu is executed or when a Mudra timer runs out. Now triggers the cooldown of weapon skills, Mudra, and ninjutsu upon execution. Recast time has been reduced from 20 to 1.5 seconds. Again, I'm really going to have to play around with it, with the change, to be able to fully grasp how this changes Ninja's rotation. But it's going to be a pretty big change. We're about to get into the potency changes for ninjutsu, and just a quick sweep with my eye. It's a pretty big change. So let's see how much of a difference this is going to make. Kuma Shuriken, potency has been increased from 280 to 500. Katan, potency has been increased from 250 to 500. Raiton, potency has been increased from 400 to 800 potency on Raiton now? Kyoton is potency from 140 to 400. Kyuton is just your faster ability, so there's no potency there, but okay. Doton, potency has been increased from 45 to 100. Is that 100 a tick? If that's 100 a tick, Doton's a really potent dot right now. Suiton, potency has been increased from 130 to 600. Suiton's gonna hit hard now too, not just be your trick attack thing. Kasatsu no longer resets the ninjutsu timer. Charges have been removed, but the effect allows the execution of a single ninjutsu without consumption of Mudra charges has been added, and it's now set at 15 seconds. That seems really good too, honestly. This is crazy. Raiton is doubled potency. Kyoton is 400 potency. Suiton is 600 potency. Even Fuma Shuriken is 500 potency now. That's really good. Oh, that makes me excited. Armor Crush combo potency has been increased from 380 to 400. Flank combo potency has been increased from 440 to 460. Dream Within a Dream duration has been increased from 10 to 15 seconds. Hellfrog Medium potency has been reduced from 400 to 200, but it no longer drops off. That is a net gain. Every time I see people going like, oh, but it does less damage now. It's like, no, now technically does more damage if you have more than 2 enemies, because there's no drop off. So you're doing a flat 200 to everybody. It's only a DPS loss if you're using Hellfrog Medium on 2 enemies or less. Which means, at that point, you might as well just use Baba Kakra instead. Ninki Gauge cost has been reduced from 80 to 50. Baba Kakra potency has been reduced from 500 to 300. I was afraid they would probably cut it back with the Ninki Gauge change. Ninki Gauge cost has been reduced from 80 to 50. The effects of Tenchi Jin have been revamped. It now functions as follows. Temporarily converts each of the 3 Mudra into a ninjutsu action. Executing one of these actions will convert the remaining Mudra into different ninjutsu actions until all 3 have been executed or the Tenchi Jin effect expired. Same ninjutsu still cannot be executed twice. Okay, and effect still ends upon moving. So it works kind of the same way as before, but now it will It just uses the mudra, basically. Sure. Alright. Meisui, Ninki gauge cost. Increased to Ninki gauge has been changed from 40 to 50. It gives you more Ninki when you use Meisui to eat your Suiton instead of using it for trick attack. Recast time has been increased from 60 to 120 seconds. Goka Mekyaku, potency has been increased from 400 to 750. Hyosho Ranryu, potency has been increased from 600 to 1200 potency on Hyosho Ranryu? Are you kidding me? Oh, I want to play Ninja again, man. 1200? That's Sam damage right there. That is Samurai damage. Oh, I want to play Ninja again, man. The effect of Bunshin has been changed. Bunshin now functions as follows. Grant 5 stacks of Bunshin. Each stack allowing your shadow to attack enemies each time you execute a weapon skill. Duration has been increased from 15 to 30 seconds. This is why this is all messed up, by the way. Increased to Ninki gauge per attack has been changed from 4 to 5. Ninki gauge cost has been reduced from 80 to 50. Recast time has been reduced from 110 to 90 seconds. Bushin status icon will now display the number of attacks remaining. That's cool. Shukiho, increased to Ninki gauge has been reduced from 6 to 5. And Shukiho 2, increased to Ninki gauge has been changed from 8 to 10, so that it stays on an even 5-10. Requirement has been changed from landing any weapon skill or successfully completing any combo to landing Shadowfang or successfully completing a combo with Aeolian Edge or Armor. That makes sense, because Shadowfang is no longer a combo. Ninja looking strong coming out the gate here. Samurai, Meditate. The maximum number of stacks gained has been reduced from 5 to 3. It no longer has a duration, and it triggers the cooldown of weapon skills upon execution. It cannot be executed during weapon skill cooldown. Yeah. Hagakure, increase to Kinki gauge has been changed from 5 to 10. That's cool. Tsubama Gaishi, global cooldown when executing this action is now affected by skill speed. Shoha's potency is now fixed at 400. Requirement for execution is now fixed at 3 stacks of medication. Recast time has been increased from 1 to 15 seconds. That 400 may not seem like much, but you're building it up over the course of the battle already anyway. So you're getting your stacks of meditation, and then you're just getting a Shoha for free, basically, every 15 seconds. Which is not bad at all. Higenbana grants a stack of meditation up to a maximum of 3. Tenka Goken. Midari Setsugeka, Kaishi Higenbana, Kaishi Goken, Kaishi Setsugeka get those as well. Jinpu combo potency has been reduced. Oh. Shifu combo potency has been reduced. It's only 20 points, but like still, 20 potency. Why? Do they think it's going to be too strong with these changes? I guess they must, or they wouldn't have done it. Fuga, range and radius have been increased from 6 to 8. That's cool. Cone size has been increased. Yukikaze combo potency has been reduced from 400 to 360. Meikyo Shisui status icon will now display the number of weapon skills that can be executed without combo rule. So that's handy. That'll let you know how many you've already used, so you don't accidentally burn one on a move you didn't mean to burn it on. Bard! Mage's Ballad. The additional effect grants Mage's Ballad to all party members within 30 yalms, increasing their damage down by 1%. That's cool. Army's Paeon. Direct hit rate by 3%. Wanderer's Minuet. Additional effect. Crit rate by 2% has been added. That'll help a lot, honestly. Those percents may seem small, but that makes Bard super desirable in parties now. Sidewinder, potency for 1 effect has been increased from 170 to 200, or 175 to 200. For 2 effects has been increased from 260 to 300. Troubadour recast time has been reduced from 180 to 120. That's from 3 minutes to 2 minutes. Apex Arrow range has been increased from 15 to 25 yalms. Potency has been reduced from 500 to 120. Potency increases up to 600 as Soul Voice gauge exceeds the minimum cost. Consume the Soul Voice gauge upon execution. Okay, so your first Apex Arrow, if you use it as soon as you can, as soon as you have a Soul gauge to use it on, it only does 120 potency. But if you have 2, it increases, and if you have all 3, it increases up to 600. That's kind of a shame. I get why they did that. They want you to use that mechanic, but it's kind of a shame. Bard kind of got nerfed to be able to get that utility, it seems. Because Venomous Bite, Wind Bite, Caustic Bite, and Storm Bite all had their dot potencies reduced by 10. And then Refulgent Arrow got a 10% potency nerf as well. I think those numbers will probably go back up, honestly, because I don't think Bard was doing enough damage even before this change with support to really warrant this nerf, but we will see, I suppose. Machinist Tactician, recast time has been reduced from 180 to 120. That's nice, thank you. Split shot potency's been increased from 160 to 180. Slug shots combo potency from 240 to 260. Clean shot combo potency from 320 to 340. So it looks like, to me, it looks like what they're going for is Bard will now have utility again, but will do less damage because of it. It kind of already felt like Bard was doing less damage, but sure. And then Machinist will not really have utility. The only utility is Tactician. But to make up for it, Machinist will do more damage, which seems really cool. Clean shot. Heat blast. Potency's been increased from 200 to 220. Heated split shot, 200 to 220. Heated slug shot, 300 to 330. Heated clean shot, 400 to 440. And flamethrower. Global cooldown when executing this action is now affected by skill speed. Yes! You can flamethrower all day long. That's great. Dancer. Dancer also getting potency buffs. Felt like... So, Dancer's in a weird place DPS-wise. Before I say it feels like Dancer was doing enough damage already. Dancer's in a weird place DPS-wise. Below 60, Dancer is insane and doesn't scale well at all and destroys everything. And it gives this idea that Dancer is, like, super powerful and way stronger than everything. And it's because of standards. But at higher levels, Dancer really does pale when it comes to some of the other DPSs. He just kind of falls apart damage-wise compared to a Machinist or a Samurai or a Black Mage. And it does that, I always felt like, because of, I say always, it's been what, 4 months? Because of the utility that it brings. And the utility's great. Being able to buff another party member to be able to do more damage as well, that's amazing. But it definitely can feel rough when you're throwing your chakrams at an enemy and you're the only one left alive because the tank has died and the healers are dead and the boss is coming to you and you know you can't kill that mob before it kills you. But at the same time, I think these potency increases are going to help. Cascade 200 to 250, Fountain combo potency from 250 to 300, Rising Windmill from 250 to 300, Blood Shower from 300 to 350, Curing Waltz from 200 to 300, and Shield Samba has been reduced just like Tactician and Wonder Chaos. I think it's Troubadour. For Black Mage, Triple Cast will now show the number of spells that you have left for Triple Cast. Great. Summoner. Here we go. Summoner. Eggy Assault. Action category has been changed from ability to spell. Bane no longer spreads the ruination effect to nearby targets. Eggy Assault 2. Action category has been changed from ability to spell. Pain Flare potency has been reduced from 150 to 130. It's not a huge change, but still. Try Disaster now deals unaspected damage with a potency of 300. Additional effect of Ruination has been removed. Grimworm Trance, recast time has been reduced from 60 to 55. That'll help. Ruin 4, potency has been increased from 260 to 300. Bio 3, damage over time has been increased from 40 to 50. Miasma 3, potency over time has been increased from 40 to 50. Damage over time, potency has been increased 50. And honestly, I think those two alone will make up for the Pain Flare damage, because you're going to be using those more than you're using Pain Flare. Worm Wave can now be executed immediately after summoning Bahamut. Nice. Firebird Trance has been reduced as well to 55. Everlasting Flight duration has been increased from 20 to 21 seconds. Gust on the Emerald Carbuncle potency has been reduced. Of course, they have to be reduced in some way. The quick one, because you no longer have charges of Eggy Assault. Just throw them out there. They're a spell now. That said, Downburst potency has been increased from 40 to 100. Glittering Emerald potency has been increased from 10 to 30. Damage over time potency has been increased from 10 to 30. Duration has been reduced from 15 to 9 seconds. Glittering Topaz Barrier has been increased from 20 to 30% of HP. Shining Topaz potency has been increased from 60 to 200. Windblade potency has been reduced from 40 to 30. Aerial Slash potency has been increased from 60 to 50. Is that the same damage? It's not. I guess these are the Arcanist abilities. And these are the Summoner abilities. So if you changed your Garuda into an Emerald Carbuncle, you would still get these damage. Yeah. I misread that at first. Okay. Flipstream, potency has been increased from 20 to 50. Damage over time, potency has been increased from 20 to 50. Duration has been reduced from 50 to 9. Barrier for Earth and Armor has been increased to 30%. Mountain Buster, potency has been increased from 70 to 50. Earth and Fury, potency has been increased from 200 to 300. Crimson Cyclone, potency has been increased from 100 to 250. Flaming Crush, potency's been increased from 100 to 250. Potency's now reduced by 50% for all remaining enemies. So it does have a drop off, unfortunately. I hate drop off. Inferno, potency's been increased from 200 to 300. Enhanced Bane now always extends the duration of Bio and Miasma applied by Bane to full duration of the. Cool. We're not even close to done with this, by the way. We have a long way to go because PvP's after this. Alright. Red Mage, Acceleration. Effect now applies to the next 3 for Thunder, for Flare, for Arrow, or for Holies. Duration has been increased from 10 to 20 seconds, and recast time has been increased from 35 to 55 seconds. For Molinet, range and radius have been increased from 6 to 8 yalms. Same for Enchanted Molinet. Contra 60 potency has been increased from 350 to 80. Jolt 2 potency has been increased from 250 to 280. Enchanted Reprise potency has been increased from 250 to 300. And Enchanted Jolt now also increased the potency of Ver Thunder and Ver Arrow to 350, and the potency of Ver Fire and Ver Stone to 300. Cool. Extra damage is never a bad thing, that's for sure. And that acceleration change will definitely help Red Mages with pulls. With that opening burst window. White Mage, Asylum, range and radius increased from 6 to 8 yalms, and Temperate. Effect is now applied immediately after execution. Cool. Scholar, Summon Seraph duration has been increased from 20 to 22 seconds. Thank you. Must now wait 2 seconds after being summoned to begin executing action. You may look at that and go, well, that doesn't fix anything then. But what it does is it gives you the full 20 seconds as the Seraph summons in, instead of eating into your 20-second timer as it's showing up. Brace for Eos and Selene, or Seraphic Veil for Seraph. Actions will no longer be executed when pet is set to steady. Okay. Constellation, recast time has been increased from 20 to 30 seconds. Alright, that's not that huge of a problem. Astrologian. Combust, damage over time potency has been increased, 30 to 40. Essential Dignity, maximum cure potency when target's HP is low has been increased by 100. Cool. Aspected Benefic. MP cost when the effect of Nocturnal Sect has been reduced, under the effect of Nocturnal Sect has been reduced from 1,000 to 900. Expected Helios. MP cost has been reduced from 1,100 to 1,000. From 35 to 50 potency on Combust 2. Minor Arcana will now automatically change it to Lord of Crowns or Lady of Crowns upon drawing a card, instead of you having to hit it and then execute it. Collective Uncon has been revamped. It creates a celestial ring around the caster. During Diurnal Sect, it reduces damage taken by 10% and applies Wheel of Fortune to self and any party members who enter. Duration of 18 seconds. Wheel of Fortune effect for Diurnal is Regen, cure potency of 100, duration of 15 seconds. The Nocturnal Sect effect is grants healing over time and applies Wheel of Fortune to self and party members. Cure potency of 100 for a duration of 18 seconds. Wheel of Fortune effect is during Nocturnal will be reduces damage taken by 10%, duration of 20 seconds. Effect ends upon using another action or moving, include facing in a different direction. Cancels your auto attack. Can only be executed while under the effect of Diurnal or Nocturnal Sect. Radius has been increased. Recast time has been reduced. Collective Uncon will now be a much better cooldown to use. You'll have it more often, be able to use it more often, and with the Nocturnal Sect change as well, it's a big difference. Reduced damage taken by 10%. I can see situations where you're running with a Scholar and an Astrologian, and the Astrologian has been doing Diurnal. They've been staying in Diurnal for the regen effect, because Scholar doesn't have a regen. And then when the boss goes to use their big raid-wide, switching to Nocturnal, the Scholar throwing out the shield, and then the Astrologian popping Collective Uncon, and then everybody's safe, basically. You've reduced the damage coming in by 10%, and they have the shields of Scholars. That is a good effect. That is very good. That'll make Astrologian way more requested in progression. Combust 3, damage over time potency has been increased from 45 to 60. Malefic 4, potency has been increased from 240 to 250. We're almost halfway done. Reprisal effect now applies to all nearby enemies. Duration has been increased from 6 to 10 seconds. Reprisal is now a cooldown you can use in mob packs, and I think that is a great change. Love that. Rescue, recast time has been reduced from 150 to 120. Very good, very good. And Enhanced Outburst has been added 76 for Summoner. Increase the potency of Outburst to 9. Enhanced Tri-Disaster has been removed. Some stuff has been adjusted for actions, but no changes have been made to the effect, just the way it reads. White Mage, Lily and Blood Lily costs will no longer display on action icons. Minimum battery gauge costs will now be displayed on action icons. Black and white mana costs will now be displayed on action icons. Cartridge costs will now be displayed. Fourfold feather costs will no longer be displayed. Interesting. A sound will now play when Gunbreaker's powder gauge is full. The change in display of the Ninki gauge and sound effect played when reaching 80 Ninki has been changed trigger when 50 Ninki. Sound will now play when Bard's soul voice gauge reaches 100. A sound will now play when Machinist battery gauge reaches 100. Sound will now play when Dancer gains their fourfold feather. Change in display of the balance gauge and sound effect played when reaching 30 white mana and black mana has been changed trigger when 80 white mana and black mana. Sound will now play when White Mage's blood. Pets will now be displayed in the party list. They cannot be targeted, but you can at least see them. That's cool. Demi Phoenix can no longer be targeted. It wasn't supposed to be in the first place. All attacks from Arcanist and Summoner pets are now categorized as magic attacks. Alright. Blue Mage changes. This stuff will be coming in the 5.1 patch, even though Blue Mage update won't actually be coming for levels until 5.15. Water Cannon. Potency has been increased from 120 to 200. Flamethrower. Potency has been increased from 130 to 220. Potency will now be reduced. 50% fall off. Breath potency has been increased from 90 to 140. Potency will now have drop off. Damage over time potency has been increased from 10 to 20%, or from 10 to 20 potency. Flying Frenzy. Potency has been increased from 80 to 150. Has drop off. Drill Cannons. Potency has been increased from 120 to 200. Potency when target is afflicted with petrification has been increased from 420 to 600. Potency will now have drop off. High Voltage potency has been increased from 90 to 180. Potency when target is afflicted with Dropsy has been increased from 130 to 200 to 220. Drop off. Final Sting potency has been increased from 1500 to 2000. Player will now be afflicted with Brush of Death status after use. Action cannot be executed when under the effect of Brush with Death. Song of Torment potency over time has been increased from 25 to 50. Flower potency has been increased from 130 to 20. Drop off. Flame Cracker potency has been increased from 130 to 20. Drop off. Sharpened Knife potency has been increased from 120 to 220. Potency when target is stunned has been increased from 250 to 450. Ice Spikes potency has been increased from 25 to 40. Blood Drain potency has been increased from 20 to 50. Bomb Toss potency has been increased from 110 to 200. Drop off. Off Guard. Off Guard has changed. Increases target damage taken by 5%. Has been increased from 25 to 60 seconds. Now shares a recast timer with Peculiar Light. And duration has been reduced from 30 to 15 seconds. That is a huge Off Guard nerf. Is that why it got all the buffs to damage? Because that huge Off Guard nerf? Feels bad, man. It feels bad. My camera is also freaking out, and I don't know why. Let's see if that fixed it. Self-destruct. Potency has been changed from 900 to 1500. Potency when you have Toad Oil is 1200 to 1800. Player will now be inflicted with Brush of Death. Transfusion. Player will now be inflicted with Brush of Death. I'm assuming Brush of Death is, or Brush with Death is not instant death, but makes you close, maybe? Brings you down to 1. And then you can't use those abilities again while you're at 1. It could be a pretty big change, honestly, because it means that if you are doing off and off agains with 4 and 4, you could have an immediate heal for everybody. You could have a, you could even do 7 to 1 and just have a white mage, and then all blue mages use self-destruct. Transfusion. Player will now be inflicted with, we already said that, 4 times weight. Potency has been increased from 110 to 200. Drop off. The Look. Potency has been increased from 110 to 200. Drop off. Bad Breath. Damage over time. Potency from 10 to 20. Ram's Voice from 130 to 220. Drop off. Dragon's Voice from 110 to 200. If they've been deep freezed, 310 to 400. Drop off. Inkjet from 120 to 200. Drop off. Fire Angon. Full of words. 120 to 200. Drop off. Mind Blast 100 to 200. Drop off. Peculiar Light. Effect potency has been reduced from 30% to 5. Wow. They really nerfed the damage down that Blue Mage has. Duration's been increased from 10 to 15 seconds. Now here's a recast timer with Off Guard. Feather Rain. Potency's been increased from 180 to 220. Damage over time. Potency's been increased from 20 to 40. Eruption. Potency's been increased from 220 to 300. Mountain Buster. 310 to 400. Potency reduction after the first enemy's drop off. Shock Strike from 310 to 400. Drop off. Blast Dance from 290 to 350. I don't know. I think these Blue Mages fixes, all the potency increases are great, right? But Blue Mage is supposed to be, it's a limited job. It can't run with everybody else. So it's supposed to be different. It's okay if Blue Mage is broken. And it feels like they fixed Blue Mage when it didn't need to be fixed. It feels like they're trying to balance Blue Mage. And I don't know how I feel about that. That's a really weird feeling. Success rate of learning actions from enemies has been increased. Success rate of learning actions from enemies will be increased further when entering duties with an undersized party setting disabled. Okay. Using Blue Mage spells that incapacitate itself will now apply the Brush of Death. Blue Mage cannot incapacitate itself again. Score bonuses have been added to Mass Carnival. Listing of enemy resistances has been changed to enemy vulnerabilities. Sense. Filter's been added to Blue Magic Spellbook. So yeah, basically, you have a higher chance now of getting abilities. They do more damage. They have drop off. Blue Mage is balanced, and it feels really weird. I don't like it. But you now have a higher success rate of learning actions when you're ending duties with undersized party disabled, which is interesting. That's cool, I guess. Right, Cosmos has been added. Minimal eye level requirement for dungeons has been added for dungeons. Nice. So Dusk Vigil, Samal, the Airy, and the Vault, you now have to have from 100, 105, 110, 115. Google Library is 120, Siren Song Sea is 240, Shisui is 245, Bardoms is 250, Doma Castle is 255, Castle Mabani is 260, Holminster Switch is 370, Dawn Meg is 375, Kitana Ravel is 380, Malika's Well is 385, and Mount Gulg is 390. Hades Elegy has been added. 450 or above to enter. Following adjustments made to Thorn March Hard. Okay. When the Mughal Guard Mughals are present on the field, damage dealt to Mughal cannot exceed a certain threshold. Because you're supposed to take out the guards first. Yeah. Maximum damage dealt by Memento Mughal has been reduced. Okay, cool. Rewards on Eden's Gate have been removed for standard. In exchange for lightweight tomes has been reduced for Blades of Early Antiquity from 7 to 4. Issue in high-end duties where the timing of hard and range mechanics created discrepancies in the total length of the encounter for yeah. Eden's Gate Savage had some weird ones there. Copied Factory has been added. Yokotaro and Yosuke Saito. With music composed by Keiichi Okabe. Very excited for this. Very excited. Eye level 435 or above. Role requirements. Parties match automatically divided the duty finder. 1 tank, 2 healers, 5 defense. 1 item per week, just like always. Separate reward. Crack Stella clusters and 1 manufactured coin. Manufactured coins can be exchanged in Gilmore. Tombstones of Phantasmagoria. Deep Shadow Coating and Deep Shadow Twine can be purchased from Bill in the Crystarium with Sacks of Nuts, or Fothard Gilmore with manufactured coins. Oh, you can use your nutsacks finally to be able to upgrade your Phantasmagoria stuff. That's cool. Power of Echo for Dancing Plague, Crown of the Immaculate Dying Grasp, for Dancing Plague Extreme and Crown of the Immaculate Extreme, and for Orban Monastery. There you go. Undersized option for the Great Hunt. Thank you. Interrupt Malice when cast by Mimics, and Quivering Coffers in Deep Dungeon. Thank you. Thank you so much. Being able to interrupt Malice so you don't get the Malice effect is very good. Eureka! Echo will take effect upon entering Eureka, increasing players' maximum HP, damage dealt, and healing potency. It will not take effect when using the Baldessian Arsenal. It is now easier to spawn notorious monsters, and story quest completion is no longer required to ride mount. Thank you. Certain elite marks has been adjusted. Resistance to certain monsters has been adjusted. Exploratory missions have been removed. Wow, okay. Achievements related to exploratory missions will no longer be obtainable. Alright then. Because Diadem is changing, right? The following addition and adjustments have been made to the Raid Finder. Hades Elegy has been added. The Dancing Plague Extreme and Crown of the Immaculate Extreme have been moved to the Duty Finder. And the Unending Coil of Bahamut Ultimate and the Weapons Rebellion Ultimate have been added to a new Ultimate Raids category. The duty listed within the Duty Roulette Expert have been changed to add the Grand Cosmos. But it didn't take away any of the previous 3, and I was really afraid it would, so that's cool. Required average item level to register for Duty Roulette Expert has been increased from 410 to 430. Following duties have been added: Mentor, Grand Cosmos, and Copy Factory. Average item level to register for Mentor has been increased from 35. Zeology has been added: Stone Sky Sea. Limited generation by the actions Choco Drop and Choco Strike has been increased, so your Chocobo can tag again. Significant changes have been made to PvP. Details on changes to actions and traits will be added to the job guide on Tuesday, October 29th. So in 4 days. I guess I'll do a video on the PvP changes then, because I thought they'd be in this. The ranking of each Grand Company will display it on the result. Okay. Players can now queue for Frontlines as a party! 4-person party only, but still. Frontline party for daily challenge. Mount speed's been increased. Cool. Return is now no longer has a recast, basically. And taking damage will now always interrupt return. Following adjustments made in recovery for in-cap. It's now stuck at 5 seconds. Reaches 0, they'll be moved to their team's landing point automatically. No longer have to click the button. Following adjustments made to Adrenaline. Defeating players on enemy teams will no longer contribute to filling the Adrenaline gauge of your party members. Players can now fill their Adrenaline gauge via assists. Map has been adjusted. When completing the Borderland Ruins secure icons will now be displayed on the map 30 seconds prior. That's a huge change. Competing in Fields of Glory Shatter, icons will now be displayed on the map 30 seconds prior to Tome Lift spawning. We'll no longer have to trust my gut. All matches now require 72 players to commence. Well, alright then. Battle High has been adjusted. Strength of Battle High is now based on your rating. Every KO and assist you earn contributes to your rating up to a maximum of 100 points. Points earned will be reduced by half when in-capped. For 1, 10%. For 2, 20%. For 3, 30%. For 4, 40%. For 5, 50%. And if you're under the effect of Battle High, you'll no longer appear on the map. Interesting. Really cool. New items. This new gear that we knew about already. Looks pretty cool, though. And then this other new gear that is really interesting. I like the look of it a lot. Recipes. The Certificate of Good Cheer has been changed to the Expired Certificate of Good Cheer, and the Valentine's Day Chocolate has been changed to the Expired Valentine's Day Chocolate. Some items may now be sold decent, submitted as expert deliveries, and converted into materia. Cool. New crafter actions. Level 42 for all crafters. Final appraisal. The next action that would complete item synthesis will instead leave 1 progress point remaining. In fact, active for 5 steps. So you could theoretically use that and then keep working on high quality without having to worry about finishing the item. Waste Not 2 at level 47, not 74, 47. Reduce loss of durability by 50% for the next 8 steps. That's pretty good. Careful Observation. Do nothing for 1 step, preserving the status of any actions presently in effect. Crafter's delineation is used upon execution. It'll only be used up to 3 times per synthesis. Interesting. Does not increase step count. Cool. And level 69, Reflect. Increases inner quiet stack by 3 up to 11. Can only be used when initial preparations is active. Then we got a bunch of crafter stuff that's been adjusted. So if you don't care about crafters, this is probably the section that you can click off on. But please don't. I'd like you to stay and enjoy this crafters with me. Rapid Synthesis is now required at level 9. Hasty Touch is now required at level 9. And success rate's been increased from 50% to 60%. Tricks of the Trade, now acquired at level 13. Ingenuity, the effect of this action has been revamped. And now, for the next 5 steps, effectiveness of touch and synthesis actions is increased. Innovation, now acquired at level 26. The effects of this action has been revamped. Innovation now increases the efficiency of synthesis and touch actions by 20% for the next 4 steps. It no longer shares a cap with Inner Quiet. Muscle Memory, the effects of this action has been revamped. Now it increases your progress efficiently 300%. Success rate 100%. Additional effect, efficiency of your next synthesis action is increased by 100%. Only available in the first step. Additional effect is active for 5 steps. So you use that first and you're good to go. That's really good. Wow. In fact, if you pair that with Final Appraisal, I don't know if it counts as a step or not. Ooh, that'd be really powerful. Great Strides, increase to efficiency has been changed from double to an additive increase of 100%. Name of the Elements, number of active turns has been reduced from 5 to 3. Increase to efficiency is now capped at 200%. CP cost has been increased from 15 to 30. Name of the Elements was really strong. Patient Touch, increased to Inner Quiet stacks when successful, has been increased from 1 to double current stacks. Basic synthesis success rate has been increased from 90% to 100%. Thank you. Basic touch success rate has been increased from 70% to 100%. Thank you. Master's Mend CP cost has been reduced from 92 to 88. Cool. Inner Quiet bonus no longer shares a cap with innovation. Standard Touch success rate has been increased from 80% to 100. Brand of the Elements success rate has been increased from 90 to 100. Miragot's Blessing to 100. Precise Touch to 100, and the efficiency has been increased to 150. Prudent Touch to 100, and the CP cost has been increased from 21 to 25. Preparatory Touch to 100, and the CP cost has been increased from 36 to 40. Intensive Synthesis from 80 to 100, and the CP cost has been reduced from 12 to 6. Trained Eye, increased the quality has been increased from 50% to 100% of an item's quality. Wow, that's some big changes. And then a bunch of stuff has been removed. From all classes, Steady Hand, Master's Mend 2, Steady Hand 2, Standard Synthesis, Advanced Touch, Hasty Touch 2, Initial Preparations, Rapid Synthesis 2, Rapid Synthesis 3, Trained Instinct, Satisfaction, Whistle While You Work, Finishing Touches, Innovative Touch, Nemia's Wheel, Miragot's Miracle, Trained Hard, Specialty Reinforce, Specialty Refurbish, Specialty Reflect. From Carpenter, Rumination and Heart of the Carpenter. From Blacksmith, Ingenuity 2 and Heart of the Blacksmith. From Armorer, Piece by Piece and Heart of the Armorer. From Goldsmith, Manipulation, Flawless Synthesis, Innovation. Baker's Mark, Heart of the Goldsmith. Innovation was really good, that's a shame. Leatherworker, Waste Not 2, Heart of the Leatherworker. Weaver, Careful Synthesis 2, Heart of the Weaver. Alchemist, Comfort Zone, Heart of the Alchemist. Culinarian, Reclaim, Heart of the Culinarian. Additional actions have been removed. And in accordance with this change, the following actions can now be learned by all classes. Ingenuity, there you go. It's just been taken away from one class and given to everybody. Rapid Synthesis, Waste Not, Tricks of the Trade, Hasty Touch, Muscle Memory. The following crafter actions' names have been adjusted. Manipulation 2 is now Manipulation. Careful Synthesis 3 is now Careful Synthesis because they're the only ones. New traits have been added. Basic Synthesis Mastery, which increases the efficiency to 120%. And at level 63, Rapid Synthesis Mastery, which increases the efficiency to 500%. The following crafter traits have been removed. Stroke of Genius. Overall experience points gains for crafting classes have been increased. It's awesome. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the crafting log, which we already saw. The tree. It's really cool. I like it a lot. Hovering your mouse over the crafting condition in the crafting window will now display an explanation of the status. Quick Synthesis has been adjusted as followed. Quick Synthesis will no longer fail, provided you meet the required craftsmanship requirement. That's awesome! Increases to control will now provide reasonable improvements to the chance of receiving high-quality items. When using Quick Synthesis to craft more than one of an item, the time required per synthesis has been reduced. So the crafter now also increases CP by 15. Items used only for collectible exchanges will always be crafted as collectible. Thank you. The following adjustments have been made to desynthesis. Desynthesis can no longer fail regardless of your desynthesis level. The requirement to unlock desynthesis has not changed. The combined total limit for desynthesis has been removed. Total level limit. As a result of this change, desynthesis levels can no longer go down, and it is possible to level desynthesis to maximum for all crafting classes. So you still get to level it. That's cool. When your desynthesis level is higher than that of the item you're desynthesizing, number of items yielded is increased, and there's a chance to procure rare items. I still love desynth, so great. Leveling rate for desynthesis has been increased. Level cap for desynthesis has been increased from 450 to 460, and the careful desynthesis parameter has been changed to desynthesis skill gain. So, one of my biggest fears when they said that desynth would no longer be able to fail was that you would not be able to level it anymore, that the level would just go away. But I like that the level's still going to be there, and theoretically the level cap will continue to go up, and so I can keep maxing my desynth. Because it was a pain that desynth could go down, and you had to deal with that, but that's cool. I'm very excited for that. Gatherers! New gatherer actions have been added. Level 8, Sneak for all gatherers. Tread quietly, enabling you to avoid enemies up to 4 levels above your own. Sneak does not hinder movement speed and can be used when riding mounts. For Botanist Miner, level 20, the 12's bounty. Increase the elemental shard yield by 2. Awesome. Actions have been adjusted for Miner, which is my main gatherer, to be fair. Miner, just for clarification. Lay of the Land 2, now acquired at level 5. Okay, at level 6. The Giving Land, it's been revamped. Increases elemental shard, crystal, and cluster yields by a random amount. Okay. Effect can be stacked with the 12's bounty. Cannot be executed if the gathering node does not yield shards, crystals, or cluster. Yeah, makes sense. For botanist, much the same. And then for fisher, Truth of Oceans is now acquired at level 65 instead of 66. Gathering actions that have been removed, stealth is gone. You now just use sneak. Which, now that it doesn't hinder movement speed or can be used by riding, that is fine. Get rid of stealth. Get it out of here. Minor, Toil of the Mountaineer is gone. I figured that would probably go. And then Birgot's Ward, Nalthal's Ward, and Thaliak's Ward are also gone. I assumed that was going to happen. They're actually currently in game before this change. There are more abilities in a miner's toolkit. There are more abilities that a miner uses than he has access to on 3 hotbars, which is unfortunate. So this will help. And then Botanist, Toil of the Pioneer, Nofika's Ward, Memphina's Ward, and the Land's Ward. New Gatherer traits have been added. Level 27, Auto Sneak. Automatically activate Sneak upon changing your class. Yes! Thank you! Because it doesn't reduce movement speed and you can still be mounted, so why not? That's awesome. Miner, One with the Mountain. Automatically activates Truth of the Mountain upon changing your class to Miner. Cool. Impulsive Appraisal Mastery. Upgrades Impulsive Appraisal to Impulsive Appraisal 2. Unearth to Unearth 2 and Unearth 3. From 2 to 3. And Bountiful Yield to Bountiful Yield 2. And increases the base yield of the 12's bounty by 1 for enhanced bounty. That will help a lot with your hotbars as well. Pretty much the same for Botanist. Impulsive Appraisal, Leaf Turn, Bountiful Harvest Mastery, and Enhanced 12's Bounty. For Fisher, One with the Ocean. Automatically activates when changing your class to Fisher. Awesome. And then stuff that's been adjusted. Ward of the 12 has been changed to Enhanced 12's Bounty. Changed to extend the 12's Bounty effect to crystals. Ward of the 12 2. Much the same. To clusters. Enhanced GP regeneration. Effect changed to increase base GP regeneration by 1. And then now a total of 2 instead of a total of 1. So that's cool. It may not seem like a lot, but that winds up being a lot of extra GP very quickly. Enhanced GP regeneration, effect change to increase, and the same for Fisher. All the following Gatherer traits have been removed. Enhanced Stealth 1 through 12. Endless Toil of the Mountaineer and Endless Toil of the Pioneer. Overall experience point gains for all gathering classes have been increased. Overall gathering rates for all gathering classes have been increased. The special conditions set for gathering certain gathering nodes and the items yielded by them have been adjusted. No more words now because I've been talking for over an hour. A quick gathering mode has been added. Okay, quick gathering? Quick gathering allows you to continuously gather from a specific slot of a gathering node until all gathering attempts have been exhausted. That's really cool. Cannot be used for guild leaves, unspoiled nodes, ephemeral nodes, legendary nodes, or favors. Following adjustments made to items not registered in your gathering log. When gathering item for the first time, the gathering rate will no longer be lowered. Awesome. Items not recorded in your gathering log will no longer appear as unknown, and now we'll have a little question mark bag. That's cool. Bronze Sledgehammer and Bronze Scythe has been lowered from 11 to 10. Nice. That'll help a lot. Level at which players can see gathering points has been adjusted. In accordance with the change, the timing with which items are updated in the gathering log and the quarrying, harvesting tabs are unlocked have also been adjusted. Players can still see level 5 gathering nodes starting from level 1. So now if you are level 6, you can see level 10 gathering nodes. Now you can see them at level 5. Level 15 nodes can be seen at level 10. Level 20 nodes can be seen at level 15. And as you would assume, going the whole way up to level 80 nodes after level 70. Items that unspoiled and legendary nodes will no longer appear out of reach. Awesome. Awesome. Item yield from ethereal reduction has been adjusted. The search for items option has been added to the subcommand menu in the gathering window. New miner and botanist gathering points have been added. New items have been added to gathering points. New fish have been added. And we can now make custom deliveries with Kaishir. Firefox. The following addition and adjustments have been made to the Glamour Dresser. A checkbox to only view items equipable with your current race and gender have been added. Thank you. A filter to view gear for specific classes and jobs has been added. A checkbox to filter out gear set items has been added. New mounts have been added. I want to know how to get this one. This is from Hades Elegy. How do you get this one? Following mounts can now be used to fly without completing the quest. I can believe I can fly. The Legacy Chocobo, the Fat Chocobo, the Parade Chocobo, the Original Fat Chocobo, the Fat Black Chocobo. Awesome. New Chocobo Barding that makes your Chocobo look like the Exarch. Awesome. Or a Hades, I guess. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be Hades. I saw the hood, but I think that's supposed to be Hades. Display and listing a chocobo bombarding in the companion window has been adjusted. Minions. Cool. An item exchange to upgrade crafted item level 450 equipment to item level 460 equipment has been added with Halcyon in Yulmore. You need a Yulmoran certificate of import or Calusian raid. They can be received in exchange for item level 450 equipment from Halcyon. Calusian raid can be received from Halcyon in exchange for alien tombstones of Goetia. Interesting. System changes, new achievements and titles, additions and adjustments have been made to achievements. All of the tank jobs now work for Hades Elegy, and for the regular ones for Grand Cosmos as well. Favorites list has been added to the market board. That's awesome. Up to 100 items can be added to the favorites list. Following adjustments have been made to gear exchange vendors. Filter to view gear for specific classes and jobs has been added. That's cool. Display when receiving 2 or more items in the exchange has been adjusted. Okay. Fellowships, a new means for like-minded players to join together, have been added. We knew about this already. This is so people at multiple from multiple different free companies can work together and still do stuff. Fellowships seem like they'll be really cool. Fellowship Finder under social. Features of Fellowship. Tabs. Message boards. Ready, set, G-pose. Polls. That's awesome. Message board tab. Members tab. Settings. That's cool. It's really cool. Following additions and adjustments have been made to mentors. This is the one that we already knew was coming. Clear distinction will be set between battle mentors and trade mentors. Until now, the features available to battle mentors and trade mentors were largely the same. They're changing that. You may now set your online status to PvE mentor or PvP mentor if you have the mentor certification as a disciple of War or Magic, and you may only set your online status to trade mentor if you only have it for disciple of Handerland and you cannot access the mentor roulette, which makes you want to fully get your mentorship if that's what you're wanting. Before, the requirements were to complete 1,000 dungeon raids or trials, receive 300 player commendations, complete any level 80 tank role quest, any level 80 healer role quest, and any level 80 melee DPS or range DPS role quest. Now it is complete 1,000 dungeons, raids, or trials, receive 1,500 player commendations, complete any level 80 tank role quest, any level 80 healer role quest, any level 80 DPS or range melee. I'll still have my mentor crowds. But if you don't have it, you have time to renew it before December. Or from the release of Patch 4.1 to December 2019, plan somewhere in there. And then you just go speak to one of the smiths. Mentors who do not renew will be unable to access the roulette and will no longer have their crowns. But they will still be able to participate in the Novice Network. And mentor party bonuses will still be open. Following additions and adjustments have been made to group pose. Enable manual brightness adjustment. That's really good. Character lighting. That's really good. And character display settings have been added. Duties that can be recorded. You can now go to the Dying Grasp and Sepulture Savage. Following additions and adjustments have been made to the Duty Finder. Item level 460. It'll now show you your item level on the Duty Finder, which is great. Layout of the first dungeons, trials, and raid tabs have been adjusted for easier navigation. That's really cool, actually. I like that a lot. Option to change the effects of the echo has been added in Duty Finder settings. Party leader will no longer change when entering a duty without role restrictions. Following adjustments made to Party Finder, players can now blacklist other players actively recruiting party members. Recruitment listing for players on your blacklist will play. That's cool. The following additions and adjustments have been made to emotes. Sort function has been added to the emote window. Thank you. You can choose either by default or by name. When adding an emote to a favorites tab, a system message will display indicating your total number of favorite emotes. Setting a play sound notification when other players emote at you has been added. That's cool. The collection menu has been added under duty in the main menu. The following measures have been taken in anticipation of congestion during the release of 5.1 have been removed. You will no longer be automatically logged out due to inactivity, and field instances for old and new areas will be removed. So, less hot marks, fortunately, but it is what it is. A copy item name option has been added to the subcommand menu. With the text cursor in the chat log window for any search field, pressing LT L1 plus RT R1 will paste text for your clipboard. Okay, cool. To consolidate settings for individual chat channels, a channel log settings menu has been added. Thank you. Transparency settings have been added for the cross hotbar. That's cool. Mount roulette can now be used when swimming or submerged underwater. Awesome. Settings to hide the HUD will be disabled when skipping huts. The log message displayed when obtaining allied seals, centurion seals, sacks of nuts, wolf marks, and bicolor gemstones has been adjusted. The options displayed when confirming a friend request have been adjusted. The following adjustments have been made to targeting. Character selection when using the directional buttons of a gamepad can now be changed from a target circle to target select. Using a mouse with target filters on, players can now enable the selection of targets near the mouse cursor. That's cool. Following adjustments made to ground targeting when using gamepad. Cursor speed when pressing R1, RB, and the left analog stick has been adjusted to maintain consistency. The default positioning of the cursor has been adjusted. Players can now save the cursor position. Cursor position can now be reset by pressing R1, RB plus L3. Class and job actions will now be set to the hotbar or cross hotbar automatically when logging in without saved hotbar or cross hotbar. Okay. Players can now change their sound equalizer settings. That's cool. Additions and adjustments to the keybind menu for collections, fellowship, fellowship finder, New Game Plus. To text commands, graphic presets allow you to change your graphics. Text commands. Fellowship allows you to open and close fellowship interface. Fellowship finder and collection. Cool. Blue magic spells you required. Blue action, hotbar blue action, crossbow blue action, macro icon action name blue action. Cool. Gear set names can now be used with the gear set change text command. Okay. Additions have been made to the auto translation dictionary. Additions have been made to the PlayStation 4 autocomplete dictionary. New music has been added. Overall sound output has been lowered. The game client is now compatible with Logitech G560 LightSync PC gaming speakers. New battle voices for player characters have been added. There you go, Vieira. And Mikote, there's a couple Mikote voices. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the staff credits. You can now skip the staff credits. That's awesome. I mean, the credits are great. You shouldn't skip the credits, but they're also like an hour long. So if you do, I understand. Confirmation prompt will now appear when canceling a report by the support desk. Error code displayed when the client fails to back up your configuration data. In order to alleviate stress on the players who cancel the queue on the login screen must now wait 30 seconds before re-entering the queue. Okay. List of worlds on the character selection screen will now be listed in alphabetical order. Game launcher has been revamped for Windows and PlayStation 4. Okay. Windows version will be brief. Transition period wherein players may freely switch between the old and new. Cool. Lots of good stuff in here. Lots of changes, especially to Ninja, to crafters and gatherers. There's a lot changing there. Some really good stuff coming. I'm very excited for most of it. The Blue Mage stuff, I'm not super excited on. I think the Blue Mage stuff is a little weird. Maybe it's because the stuff coming in 5.15 is going to be super powerful. But I guess we'll find out. Of course, it really depends on how much easier it is to get abilities. Because if it's way easier to get abilities, that's a trade-off I'll take easily. It took me over 200 runs. It probably took me more than that to get Ifrit. Because I did 5 runs daily for 4 months. So that's 5 times 120. Alexa, what's 5 times 120?
5 times 120 is 600.
Over 600 runs to be able to get Inferno from Ifrit. And I would like it to not take that long to get the others, please. But with all that said, let me know your thoughts on these patch notes in the comment section down below. I have been Trey, this has been The Full Spectrum, and remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that patch notes and FF14 have to offer.